Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's first video. We're going to have a look at weather for 10 to 14 days for today's first video. Day 10 will take us to the 26th of December, Boxing Day. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe on a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. It gets us well into the first half of January. I'll get on that for you in a moment. Just say that there was not a 6am forecast today. However, I am pretty confident we're going to get that back tomorrow. I'm feeling quite a lot better today, finally. So hopefully all of the regular videos and additional add-ons and whatnot will start to come back over the next few days. So 6am forecast should be back tomorrow if you're waiting for that one. But I'm getting with your 10 to 14 down right now. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Right, okay, we're going to start off with the Arctic Oscillation today. So this is how the Arctic Oscillation observed and forecast chart is looking. The black line shows where we've been with the AO. The red lines at the end where the GFS ensembles are forecasting the Arctic Oscillation to go. So the AO was actually quite negative through the second half of November and into the first half of December. We went through a period of negativity of the Arctic Oscillation, telling us that there would have been somewhere over the Arctic a fairly appreciable level of northern blocking. Well, right now we see that the Arctic Oscillation has actually gone into positive territory, telling us that a lot of the blocking has reduced. Instead of high pressure over pole in the Arctic, we've got low pressure. And the GFS ensembles generally keeping the AO into positive territory through the remainder of December as well. So this tells us that we're going to have plenty of low pressure up over the Arctic and up over pole, which is going to make it difficult for cold air to push out of the pole and down into the mid-latitudes. The NEO is more dramatic though, so this is how the NEO observed and forecast is looking. Again, black line shows where we've been with the North Atlantic Oscillation, red lines at the M, and the GFS ensembles forecasting the NEO to go. So again, through the middle of November through to the middle of December, or up towards the middle of December, the NEO generally being quite a negative phase, and especially so when we had that cold snap during the third week of November. We saw really quite significantly negative NEO. However, that's well and truly a thing of the past. Right now, the NEO is strongly positive, and the GFS ensembles are forecasting that the NEO will stay strongly positive through the remainder of December. So, with both the AO and the NEO in positive territory, remember it's always the index that's driving, so it's weather that's driving the index, I should say, not the index driving the weather. So, with both the indexes in positive territory, this is telling us that we have a strong setup for zonality. We have a strong setup for westerlies to be coming in from the Atlantic with low pressure around Iceland, high pressure around the Azores as the basic set. Of course, there are variations with that in terms of whether the low pressure around Iceland has the ascendancy. If it is, and it's more unsettled or western windier. If high pressure from the Azores has the ascendancy, then you get the weather we've got at the moment, which is, you know, quite a lot of dry but often quite cloudy, but also very mild weather. But fundamentally, this is a zonal westerly type pattern that we're seeing here from the AO and the NEO both being in positive territory. That sets the scene. Right, central England temperature has ticked up slightly from yesterday. We're now sitting at 6.8. That's 2.3 degrees above 61 to 99 average, provisional to yesterday to the 15th of December. So for the first half of December, we are looking very mild, and there's not much sign of that coming down to any great degree over the second half of the month either. And you can see that quite nicely with GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. So the red line shows the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. And you can see that we are above average with the upper air temperature at the moment, very mild. I could get a little bit of a colder snap at the end of the week. It'll be very brief, lasting 1 day, Thursday to Friday, and then the upper air temperature trending upwards. And check out Christmas now, looking exceptionally mild, maybe even record-breakingly mild. certainly from an upper air temperature perspective anyway, through the Christmas period. This is Christmas Eve to Boxing Day just there. So, I mean, we're going with some of the ensemble members, including the operational runs, up to 10 degrees, plus 10 degrees. 850 HPA. If we waft that kind of air in June and July, we're getting the temperature well into the mid to upper 20s Celsius. Of course, not going to be that hot now because it's December, not June and July. However, we are going to probably see temperatures certainly into double digits, maybe into teens Celsius. And, you know, with a bit of phone effect, it will be interesting to see how high the temperature gets, actually, over Christmas. But this could be a really, really warm Christmas that we're looking at now. Certainly not much sign of a cold Christmas, I have to say. Between Christmas and New Year, we might see the upper air temperature coming down back closer to average. No particular suggestion of anything cold coming up there, though. And precipitation-wise, relatively dry, to be honest. So, a lot of dry weather to come over the next 2 or 3 days. Just turn a bit wetter and windier Wednesday to Thursday with a drop in the temperature. And then just sort of showery, really approaching and over Christmas and after Christmas. I mean, it's the middle of winter, so there is going to be rain at times, but that's a relatively dry ensemble graph, I have to say, for this time of the year. Temperature anomalies from the 16th to 24th of December. Significantly above average, around sort of 3 to 4 degrees above normal. There's some parts of England and Wales, and precipitation anomalies from the 16th to the 24th of December. Western average for Western and Northern Scotland, otherwise most areas drier than normal. Latest winter map from earthnorthschool.net shows that we're drawing up a long effect southwesterly today. The areas originating when the areas originating between the Azores and Portugal. So it's very mild out there again today. However, we do get a little bit of a cooler snap at the end of the week. This is our latest UK Met Euro run, looking for midnight on Thursday. So there'll be a cold front pushing southeastwards across the country there, bringing some heavy rain. And behind me, it will turn a little bit cooler or colder. Only lasts a few hours, and then the wind backs into west again from Thursday into Friday, dragging milder air in off the Atlantic. Flat of pancake into next weekend with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. And that gets us to Christmas Eve, as far as we get to with the UK Met Euro run. And you see high pressure from the Azores sitting between the Azores and the Bay of Biscay. And we're drawing up this southwesterly wind, looking very mild there. Right, Icon, again, pushing that cold front southwards on Thursday. Bringing band of rain and some cooler air with it. Wind quick goes back into West Bay through the weekend, and then into next week we're watching these warm southwesterlies, or very mild southwesterlies, starting to push in on the northern side of the Azores, high there at 1,040 millibars. This is how the KMA is looking. So again, all very westerly, very flat through into the weekend. Next week sees that long effect southwesterly setting up very, very mild, potentially into Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. And between Christmas and New Year, high pressure remains anchored and rooting across southern England, northern France, looking very mild throughout the Christmas week there. About as bad as it gets, that, if you want cold weather for Christmas. It doesn't get any worse than that for anybody who wants cold conditions at Christmas. Right, GFS 6Z, what am I talking about? GFS Midnight Run. Again, pushing the cold front southwards on Thursday. A little bit of cooler interlude. Wind very quickly backs into the west, so Friday and Saturday. And then into next week, well, check out those southwesterly winds wafting in the air from the Azores and that sort of area. Got high pressure there through France, into Spain, Portugal, on the northern side. Again, I'll just emphasise how this works. So the air is originating from around here, and it's wafting up on the northern side of the high pressure And that's it, so looking very, very mild there as we go into Christmas Day. Upper air temperatures show we've got at least the upper air temperature up to 5 degrees, 5 Celsius, 850 HPA, possibly get 10 degrees at 850 HPA as well. That's midnight on Boxing Day, Christmas night. Again, bathed in those very, very mild, if not warm, southwesterly winds. Beyond that, well, high pressure sort of sticking around and maybe becoming a little bit more centrally located for a while of Christmas week. Still going to be mild. And then up towards the new year starts to turn a bit more unsettled, but stays mild. That's the first day of January. Actually, that's midnight on January the 1st, 2025, so that's midnight New Year's Day, looking mild, but with low pressure developing in the Atlantic, perhaps bringing some more rain back. Right, the GFS 6Z in comparison. Now again, looking rather wet, windy over the weekend, but it should be reasonably mild. That's a bit cooler into Sunday with a slight northwesterly flow. But fundamentally, it's all driving in from the Atlantic, and the upper air temperature is looking very mild there as we go into Christmas Eve. That's Christmas Day. On the GFS 6 there, again, we've got the high pressure sitting over France, over Germany, the Alps, and we're dragging in that long fetch southwesterly wind with the air originating from the Azores, maybe south of the Azores, possibly from Bermuda or somewhere like that, I don't know, but it certainly looks exceptionally mild as we go into Christmas Day with those long fetch southwesterly winds. And check out the upper air temperatures up to 10 Celsius at 850 HPA there at 6 p.m. on Christmas Day. It's a forecast, so it might not be quite as extreme, in reality, but it is a suggestion that we are really drawing up some very unusual amounts of warmth from the subtropical Atlantic there during this Christmas on the GFS 6Z. And on it goes into Boxing Day. High pressure again still sitting like a slug across France, Germany, and into the Low Countries as well. Northern side of that, drawing up the air now, perhaps more from the Canary Islands than the Azores, but still coming from a long way south and still bringing very, very mild, if not warm, upper air temperatures anyway, northwards with it. High pressure then sort of breaking a little bit between Christmas and the New Year, trying to get a bit colder perhaps in towards the New Year with more of a northwesterly flow, but well, the upper air temperature do get a significant drop, but it's only very brief, and then we're back into the west southwesters again for the New Year itself. No sign of any real change up to the end of 2024 there. This is the forecast temperature at 3 a.m. on Christmas Day from that GFS 6Z run. Most places in double digits, 10, 11, 12 degrees. Some parts of northeastern England, southeast of Scotland, perhaps at 13, 14 degrees at 3 a.m. in the morning. And that's the forecast. Excuse me, that's the forecast chart for 3 p.m. in the afternoon on Christmas Day. And temperature forecast in the yellows there, 10, 11, 12 degrees, 13 degrees, possibly places. Perhaps add a couple of degrees on, so 14 or 15 seems possible. With a bit of phone effect, somewhere like Eastern Scotland, it is highlighting Eastern Scotland and potentially some parts of Eastern England or Northeast England, to get to be the hotspots. With a bit of phone effect, we might see temperature even higher than that. So it's not impossible we could have a record-breakingly warm Christmas Day from this pattern that appears to be setting up. Not what the cold lovers and snowmantics are going to be wanting to hear. But anyway, if you enjoy the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for doing that. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. Thanks so much for doing that. If you've been enjoying our content this year and, you feel like giving a little Christmas present to me and to GavsWeatherVids, then you can give a donation to GavsWeatherVids. All donations are great. gratefully received. And we'll give you a shout out in the videos as well. We'll say, you know, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, whatever you want us to say, we'll say it. Just go to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal page, sign into your PayPal account, and, you know, send a donation to GavsWeatherVids. And thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Had a lot of donations, a lot of support this year, and it does mean a lot. Thank you so much to our PayPal donators. Thank you so much to our super chatters, our channel members. We'll give out the Merry Christmases, of course, a little bit closer to the time frame. But thank you so much, everyone. And again, please give us a sub. We only need to put on around 5 subscribers to get ourselves to 19.2k. So if you could give us a sub, that'd be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. Tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. Thanks so much. Right, GM. Again, bring that cold front southwards on Thursday. We'll feel a little bit cooler at the end of the week, but into the weekend we stay flat and westerly. Not overly warm over the weekend, but next week we start to drag up that southwesterly with the GM. That's midnight on Christmas Day with the gem, and again we've got high pressure south, but low pressure to the north. The wind is originating from the Azores. Upper air temperatures looking very mild, if not warm, and usually so for the time of the year. That's at midnight on Christmas night, and the setup still continues then. And then the ECM looks like this and rounds it all off. Again, that cold front comes southwards on Wednesday into Thursday, brings some wet weather with it. Bit cooler Thursday to Friday, back into those westerlies into the weekend. A little bit on the chilly side, perhaps, over the weekend. But next week, we draw up those southwesterly winds through Christmas Eve into Christmas Day as well. Plus 10 Celsius berm wafting through with the air originating at least from the Azores, if not further south than that. And that gets us to day 10, which is 26th of December, midnight Christmas night then. And still the broad setup of those very mild, if not warm, southwesterlies continue. Upper air temperatures look quite remarkable from a mild or a warm perspective. In the extended with the ECM operational day, the high pressure sticks around, it stays mild, but turns a little bit more unsettled up toward the new year, but still continues to look very mild, if not warm. Missing precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. So gradually turning more unsettled in the north and west over the next couple of days. I mean, some very wet weather pushing through across England and Wales around the middle part of the week, introducing that cooler or colder air very briefly around Thursday. Into the weekend, more wet and windy weather, especially so in the north and west. Not much rain, though, down in the south. And then into Christmas, of course, high pressure is developing to the south. So that brings quite a bit of dry weather to England and Wales. Very wet Christmas, potentially western Scotland, by the way. So it talks all about the temperature for this Christmas, but also it could be a very, very, very wet Christmas for western Scotland, as these southwesterlies will be moisture laden, particularly to the west. So western Scotland, western parts of Northern Ireland, potentially, possibly northwest England, could have a very wet Christmas from these moisture-laden, warm southwesterlies. No rainbow down the south, mostly dry Christmas there. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today. For day 10 gets us to Christmas Day. 21 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure south, low pressure to the north, dragging in that southwesterly flow. 16 with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, bring the wind in my westerly direction, and 14 with high pressure just a bit further north, so that would be mostly dry, but would still be mild as we are on the mild side of the jet stream in 2 weeks' time. These are the options that we've got. It will get us towards New Year's Eve. 22 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to the north, things high pressure out in the Atlantic. Winds perhaps a bit more from the west to northwest there. Mostly dry, but could be a little bit cooler. 17 with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. Winds coming in from the west. That should bring a lot of mild weather with it. And 12, potentially a little bit cooler with high pressure right over top of coach. That might give a little bit of frosting towards the new year. Might do. And then finally with CFS V2, these are 500 millibar high tolerance, breaking down into week periods. First week period, takes from the 16th to 22nd of December. The next week with high pressure to south, low pressure to the north, winds coming in from that mild west-southwesterly direction. Week 2 is going to be 23rd to 29th of December. High pressure from the Azores sitting close to Biscay, and the air wafting in from the Atlantic a little bit like that. Week 3 will be the 30th of December to 5th of January. High pressure more or less over country, slightly to the west, still bringing generally a mild westerly flow though. And then finally, week 4 will be the 6th to the 12th of January. There's a bit of a suggestion with the CFS at the moment, the high pressure be centering over the top of the country for the first half of January. And that might allow for a little bit of frost and fog. It would depend, you know, whether the high pressure is clear or cloudy. I expect it will be quite a cloudy high as it's built up from the Azores. Fundamentally, it's a warm ridge. It's a warm high or a warm core high that we see there. So it would certainly start off mild anyway. Then it would be a question of whether an inversion or something happens underneath high pressure. But fundamentally, that is a mild pattern that we see there well into January. Oh dear. Well, you had to take rough with a smooth, don't you? Anyway, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe too. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Right, so I think 6 AM forecast will be back tomorrow, and of course have a 10-14 day as well. So keep checking back to the channel for more. For this one though, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'm going to be putting up Christmas decorations this afternoon, so I'm going to have a nice Monday afternoon. You enjoy yours, and we'll see you soon with more content. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.